you have to do this with every time, at the start of every trial we have to do this. Defenses, rebuttal. Okay, let's press.
Hold it!
You're Mr. Natsume's landlord, Mr. Garadeb, aren't you? We really must stop meeting like this. Ah, you're that lawyer chap. Well, there's a turn-up for the books. Yes, rather a turbulent time we had back then. Some extraordinary events took place at your house, that's for sure. Luckily, Mr. Sholmes and I were able to get to the bottom of it all. I think we did rather a lot for you, didn't we? More likely he sent his wife to jail. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be suggesting that therefore you should change your leaning to not guilty or anything. Can't be denied, I suppose. The curse of the Garadeb house was the talk of the town after that business. Lodgers moved out and I couldn't get a bally soul to take up the tenancies. Oh, haven't had the heart to break the news to Joni yet. Bad enough that the old girls clapped up. Yes, can't be denied. You did do rather a lot, but not for us. That's for dash certain. I suppose not. Of course. There can be no suggestion of that being the reason I'm leaning towards guilty here, obviously. Obviously, but honestly, I really wish he'll pay more attention to the trial and less to juror number 2. Oh! Hey yo, Mr. Garadeb! Oh, you're cheating on your wife. So she had an instinct that you were a weird person. Maybe the person who wrote the note, they used another name for you because they didn't want to use Mr. Garadeb. Oh, is Joanne correct? Oh my god, have I been making fun of her this whole time? Though I still don't think you should throw knives at someone without getting an explanation. But still, whew. Okay, let's ask her. As housemaid, I should like to see all filthy eyesores promptly and rigorously eliminated.
Hold it!
Polishing the bench, I see. Again. A maid's work is never done. Not a blemish must remain. What exactly do you mean by filthy eyesores? On my way to market for his lordship, I have to pass through the East End. The place is full of beggars, pickpurses, and crossmen, the scum of the earth. Oh my god. This is the same thing which happens with even today, where we villainize homeless people. And obviously there are some bad people in there, but you cannot categorize. They're homeless for a reason, because they're not getting paid enough, or circumstances, they don't have enough money to buy a house, because I know houses are becoming really expensive nowadays because of landlords. So it's they're not at fault, most of them. And even when they do I'm not going to talk about the big crimes, but petty thievery and all, they're doing it because they have literally nothing to own on their own. So what the fuck? I think this is just a very unfortunate reality thing which happens even today, and it happened even in the 19th century. Oh god, I hate this. A little harsh, perhaps. Let me be plain. If it were up to me, all those back slums would be made spick and span or eradicated. Jesus, juror number 2, what the fuck? At least we have people like the great detective working to achieve these important goals. You're referring to Mr. Herlock Sholmes? That's right, I like to keep abreast of his exploits by reading Rand's magazine in between my duties. He does wonders cleaning up London streets. In my opinion, he should be declared an honorary maid of the capital. Mr. Sholmes? A maid? I would love to see Sholmes in a maid outfit. You know what? He would actually do it, in my opinion. It's really quite unforgivable. Gutter scum having the audacity to shoot our very greatest detective. Ooh, what the fuck is this going on? Minor detail, it was the 2 brothers in the stand who shot Mr. Sholmes, not the defendant. A minor detail indeed, they're all gutter scum as far as I'm concerned. Well, it just might be an idea to get our facts straight anyway. Yes, alright. I should amend my statement. Okay. What is she saying now? Those brothers are the scum of the earth. They should swing for shooting the great detective.
Hold it!
Okay, let's press this now. I agree with you. The shooting of Mr. Sholmes was an unforgivable act. But the purpose of this trial is to determine who shot the pawnbroker, Mr. Windybank. I'm afraid you're splitting hairs here, sir. Sorry? Whether it was the thieves or the pickpurse, it was still gutter trash that shot the pawnbroker in the end. Filth that should be cleaned up and eradicated, in my considered opinion. Very bad opinion. Thanks so much for sharing. Changing this maid's mind isn't going to be easy. Bruno, it was one of those two brothers that shot Hurley, wasn't it? Yes, without question. Well then, I'll never forgive them. Oh, Iris. Perhaps we can use this maid's statement to help us somehow, do you think? Yes, maybe. Let's listen carefully to what each juror has to say first. Okay. You are going to be important because you have the stereoscope with you right now. Let's press you. What do you mean, look at that photograph in stereo? Sorry, what? Don't you know? If you look at the photographic print normally, it looks as though the pickpocket girl is about to shoot the victim, obviously. But there's no indication that the defendant ever fired the gun. All I'm saying is that if you look at the same print in stereo, it could reveal all sorts of new information. By any chance, are you a fan of stereoscopes? Ooh, how did you know? Let's call it a lucky guess. It never gets old seeing the two prints merge into one before your eyes. It's extraordinary, it's captivating, it's the height of modernity. Of course. Oh yes, I think you'll find that the stereoscope here is here to stay, giving us new perspectives we could only dream of before. It's the greatest invention the world has ever seen. Sorry to say, but I don't think it's common in the 21st century right now. If only it could give me a new perspective on this case, I might agree with you. It might actually, to be very honest. If I've left it in there, I should think there'll be repercussions by now. What are you talking about? What exactly have you been muttering about all this time, sir? You keep talking about having left something somewhere, or something like that. Ah, so sorry. As you can probably tell, I'm a surgeon. A surgeon? That totally passed me by. Of course, people conducting surgery in this country aren't considered to be doctors. Wait, no? They were not considered doctors at the time. Even though me and my kind are at forefront of medical science, the real brains in the field. I thought surgeons right now are like some of the top people who get the most money in the medical field. So what is it that you think you've left behind? Well, that's a little embarrassing, to be honest. You see, I was operating on someone yesterday, standard thing, went in through the abdomen. But when I finished the procedure, I couldn't find my scalpel. I've heard horror stories of people like leaving their instruments in people. I've heard about this. Like, Jesus, man. And I mean, I would understand it more. Okay, I wouldn't understand, but like, I would think that it would be more common in the 19th century. But I've heard stories like this even today. Jeez, I'm like, bro, that would be the most traumatizing thing ever. What? Did he? Surely not. Exactly, surely not, you say to yourself, don't you? Worrying, isn't it? What's been troubling me this whole time? Could I really have left my scalpel inside the fellow's belly? No, of course I couldn't. So, there you have it. Like I said, a little embarrassing, really. That's one way of putting it. The other is manslaughter. That's exactly my concern, and seeing as this case appears to be all but sewn up, I need to focus on trying to remember exactly what I've sewn up elsewhere. Now, I'm sure I made sure everything was back as it should be. Well, as sure as you can be without being sure. I'm sure you need to be more sure. My god. Mind made up. Stop. Global radio transmission of verdict to follow. Stop.
Hold it!
Sorry, radio transmission? What do you mean? Are you from the Far East? Stop. Yes, from the Empire of Japan. All communication with Far Eastern nations used to take place by mail. Royal Mail steamers take more than a month to complete the journey. But now we have the electric telegram. Now we can send messages using electrical signals. Thousands of miles of cables have been laid along the ocean beds connecting the entire world. Thousands of miles of cable on the ocean bed? It makes my head hurt just thinking about it. I don't know how it's I don't know how it's even possible. Like, how do you even put a cable in the ocean bed? Like, my brain doesn't compute because the ocean is so big and I don't really want to think too much about the ocean because I'm scared of it. You're well informed, young lady. Hehe. But cables will soon become a thing of the past. And just when I was starting to catch up, radio transmission is the future. Its messages carried over airwaves to four corners of globe. Excitement growing. Atmospheric electric. Right, try not to wear out your fingers. Era of wireless telegraphy. Stop. Driving technological revolution. Stop. And people say inventions like the stereoscope are the height of technology. What utter piffle. I can't understand it. I really can't. They're just silly toys. Oh. Oh shit. Pursue.
The girls are fighting!
Juror number 3. Sorry to interrupt when you're obviously fuming, but... What? Do you perhaps have something to say about juror number 5's last remark? As if I couldn't guess. Oh, you bet I do. Say that again. Go on. I dare you. Goodness, are you talking to me? I think he just might be, yes. You think stereoscopes are just toys, do you? Huh? Absolutely, I mean really. A machine to view photographs in 3 dimensions? Why on earth would you not just use your eyes to look at the world around you? It's all 3-dimensional. What a great way to appease the man. No, I'm sorry. Stereoscopes are of no practical use at all. Oh shit. You just don't know. Pardon? I think you'll find that viewing a photograph through a stereoscope can unlock all sorts of possibilities. I'm obviously going to have to demonstrate. What sort of possibilities? Well, take a crime scene for example. If you had a pair of photographs from a crime scene that you could view through a stereoscope, it could reveal hidden clues you've never even noticed before. What? Have you got any prints we could look at with a stereoscope? We have we have this and we have Vagahai, but Vagahai... No, we don't have Vagahai. Do we have Vagahai? Maybe we have Vagahai. Not Vagahai, the cat, sorry. Absolutely? How about this print here? It should do the trick, I think. This? Because for the crime scene one, won't you need another photograph? You know what, let's try it.
Take that!
I was wrong. I can't actually think of anything we could use at all. What? Really? Oh dear, I think maybe I need to have a stereoscopic look at your brain sometime. What's that supposed to mean? No, we can do it. Oh my god, I'm a reload. I don't wanna go through the whole thing again. Maybe it is the crime scene, probably.
Take that!
Alright then, juror number 3. Okay, it's the crime scene thing. Are you saying you can do this without any 2 suitable photographic prints? Of course I can. Very well then, I'd like you to demonstrate. I'll be delighted to. Just give me one more print and I'll amaze you all. So that's the problem, I don't have another print.
Take that!
Wait, sorry? What do you mean one more print? Oh dear, don't you have these in the Far East? Don't you know how a stereoscope works? Bruno? What? You need 2 photographs for a stereoscope, remember? Oh, but you know, one for the left eye and one for the right. Oh yes, I remember now. But the print we have from the pawnbroker is just a normal photograph. No, I think you'll find that the clue is in the name. It's a stereoscope, not a monoscope. You always need 2 prints. Thanks for the friendly explanation. Well, if we obtain another print at some point later in the trial, we can always show it to this young man then, okay? Ha! I think you'll find that know-it-all expression is really starting to annoy me. Let's get things back on track, shall we, Council? Okay, so whenever we get another thing, we can do that. Okay, here. Can't understand it. I really can't. They're just silly toys. Don't spare any feelings, will you? It's not like there's anyone here who likes stereoscopes. So, why exactly do you think the defendant is guilty? It's quite simple. We haven't been shown a scrap of evidence to suggest that she isn't the culprit. And just as radio waves dash through the skies faster than the eye can see, so we should dash to the conclusion of this trial and stop pandering to indecision. What's that? What word is that? In motherland, we say never judge by clothes, judge by head. I'm convinced brothers are innocent. This is funny. Please tell me you're not villain Bolshevik, the Russian revolutionary. Revolutionary? Da, I believe there is such a rumor. It's just a rumor? As you see, I have unfortunate appearance. I look like vicious criminal. Your words, not mine. Just want to point that out. People call me revolutionary, murderer, autocrat. And which glove fits? Oh, this is Exato. Good day, I'm visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. Right, that didn't sound staged at all. You'll forgive me for having my doubt. To be treated like vicious criminal all the time, it is very painful. People do not realize. I agree with him. But I feel like you are not I still think you're a criminal though. What you're saying is correct. Both things can be right. You are a criminal, but what you're saying is right. So I have much sympathy for these brothers. People say they're criminals only because of how they look. The Skulkin brothers? Da, maybe they went inside pawnbroker's shop. But they have done nothing wrong. That is all I want to say. The Skulkin brothers did nothing wrong that night. Alright, well, first of all, that's one not so little misunderstanding I'll need to clear up straight away. Tell me something, Iris. What is it, Bruno? The jurors are chosen at random from the inhabitants of London town, aren't they? Yes, it's amazing, isn't it? In that case, how is it that there's a Russian tourist sitting among them who looks for all the world like a revolutionary? I wish I knew. If I can't change the minds of more than half of these 6 jurors, the trial will be over. But we know that Ginny would never shoot anyone. Yes, so we need to find contradictions in what these jurors are saying and pit them against each other. Must be ready to go to whatever lengths I have to convince them of Gina's innocence. Okay, I think I could do it with the maid, what do you call her with Bolshevik, and then we can see what we can do with that.
Objection!
These two statements clearly contradict each other. Good lord! Counsel, explain yourself. Oh my statement? Contradictory? C-O-N. Juror number 6, you have got the wrong end of the stick. I do not have stick. I have mouth. As juror number 2 said earlier, when the Skulkin brothers fled the scene on the night in question, they fired a shot from the revolver. Yes, they shot poor Mr. Shones in the abdomen, I understand. Surely you're not going to tell the court now that you didn't hear? Abdomen. A-B-D. Sir? Sorry, my English is still learning. Oh, you are telling the court you didn't hear? Forgive me, I did not hear. Here is word, abdomen. Part of person's body containing stomach and other vital organs. If this is what you mean, you should say in plain English. I'm Russian, not native speaker. Who thought it was a good idea to let this man be on the jury again? So, you are telling me these brothers who look like criminals were lying? They said before we never done nothing, but truth is they shot detective. Da, this is double negative. Yes, that's exactly right. Lying is wrong, especially when lies said by a person who looks like criminal. Coming from you, that seems surprisingly prejudiced. This means, when they said we never took nothing, maybe it was also a big fat lie. Is this true? Well, according to the police report, no stolen goods were found, so... Enough! I trust no one now. It's not the mouse's fault though, sir. I must see with my own eyes. I must investigate crime scene myself. I'm afraid that won't be possible. Yes, it is, Bruno. Easily. Sorry. With the prints from Hurley's red-handed recorder. Ah. If you compare the print that pictures Ginny and the next print from half an hour later, you'll be able to see straight away if anything was taken or not. Pooey, Mr. Prosecutor. Calling on the prosecution in the middle of a summation examination of all times. The print showing the accused threatening the victim after she broke into the shop is this one. Following this, the victim and the accused moved into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the skulking brothers entered the shop and summarily heard the fatal gunshot ring out. Sadly, none of these events were captured on film. This is the print produced by the camera half an hour later after the brothers' flight. So this was taken after Hurley was shot then. As far as I can tell, nothing has been taken. That does seem to be the case. I can't notice anything that's obviously missing in the second print, but we can use a stereoscope. So the brothers who look like criminals told only one lie. They shot man, but they stole nothing. It would seem so, yes. Good. No, not good. You were right. I did not understood the situation. Now I know brothers have lied. I think it is very important to continue a trial. Yes, thank you. Yay! Well done, Bruno. The balance is shifting. Well, it's a start, I suppose. But there must be more in what these jurors are saying that I can use to expose the truth. And if I can do that, we just might turn the situation to our favor still. Thank you, counsel. Continue with the summation examination. And kindly hand that new photographic print to the bailiff to be filed as evidence. Okay, nice. Now we can do it. Under the print in the court record. I wonder if we can make use of that. Okay, let's go. To this guy. Can it really show up new clues though? Don't know unless you try. How about this print here? It should do the trick, I think. Alright then, juror number 3. Are you saying you can do this with any two suitable photographic prints? Of course I can. Very well then, I'd like you to demonstrate. I'll be delighted to. Just give me one more print. I'll amaze you all. Take
that!
Alright, these two prints were both taken with the same camera in Windy Banks on the night in question. Yes, I see. Tell me, Mr. Lawyer, do you know how stereographic images work? Do you understand the principle? Well, I think so. I did have a lesson only yesterday. The left and right eye images need to be the same, only with a slight shift in the position of some objects. And when your brain merges the two images together, inside your head it notices the shift as if it were depth. Yes, exactly. It's that small shift between certain objects in the two pictures that's really important. So what happens if you use two photographs that are exactly the same then? No, obviously that wouldn't work at all. Not for seeing the scene three-dimensionally anyway. Oh! Of course, now I see. I think the young girl has discovered the secret. I have. Can you uncross your eyes before you tell me? Have another look at this and have another look at these two pictures from Hurley's camera, Bruno. Go on. Okay, can you see that there's a really obvious difference between them? Wait, I need to see. Okay, this vase-looking thing on the 1 AM photo, which is next to the clipboard, is toppled down in the second one. I think it's toppled or it's broken. Of course, there are two people in the first and no people in the second. Well, yes, you can see that straight away, but now try looking at the picture in 3 dimensions. Alright, I'll give it a go. So to start with, you have to cross your eyes and then try to make the two pictures overlap exactly. Let's see if by crossing my eyes I can make the quill pens from each picture overlap in the middle. Hey, can you do it for me as well? Wait. Wait, you didn't do it for me though? Well, did you manage to see it properly, Bruno? Yes, I saw it! That's the only thing I saw. Ah! What's going on with these two pictures? Some of the things on the counter they sort of jump out at you. Yes, that's it, you see. That's the other amazing power of stereoscopes. Other amazing power? Is someone going to explain this black magic, eh? Why the deuce do some of the things on the counter seem to jump out at you like that? I think you'll find that if you consider the basic principle of the stereoscope, you'll answer your own question. Basic principles of the stereoscope? As I said before, if you try to look at two identical pictures using a stereoscope, it won't work at all. It's a slight shift in the position of certain objects that lets you see pictures three-dimensionally. In other words, even though at first glance it seems the objects on the counter haven't moved at all between the two pictures, this shows that actually there must have been a slight shift in their positions. Yes, there must have been. Now hold fire there, sir. Got a reasonable grasp of this whole cross-eyed business now, I'll say. But why the devil does the shift between the two prints exist in the first place? Well, what's the answer, fellow? Come on, you're the cross-eyed master. What, me? I haven't the first idea. You know, Bruno, it's quite simple. Is it? It is? Just think it through step by step. The first photograph was taken at 1 AM. Then, 30 minutes later, the second photograph was taken. But the position of some items on the counter appears to have shifted slightly in the interim. So that means that sometime in the half-hour interval, someone must have tampered with the things on the counter. Stookers! Someone tampered? New information. Stop. Not mentioned in testimony so far. Stop. Yes. We've had to go around in circles a little here, it seems. But I'm starting to see what I should be aiming at in this summation examination now. Ladies and gentlemen, the question now is clear. We know the items on the countertop were moved, but by whom? Are you suggesting you might know? Of course. I can tell you right now who's responsible for the almost imperceptible shift in the items on the counter. Do I? Him? Huh? It cannot be Gina. Oh god, is it him? It can't be these two losers. I feel like if they were together I would press them, but I'm gonna press them first. Because Eggert Benedict has not been introduced yet.
Take that!
Okay. It was the witnesses currently in the stand, the Skulkin brothers. Okay, it's them. Oof. Wait! This does not agree with what brothers said in testimony before. They said they did not even have time to pull dukes from Lucy lockets. My phrasebook says dukes is meaning hands and Lucy lockets is meaning pockets. But is this another lie? Is this what you're saying? Yes, I'm afraid so. Now hold on there for a minute. You can't be so sure of that. I quite agree the accused is a common pickpurse after all. It's perfectly possible that she went through the things on the desk to see what she might steal. I think that's unlikely because they were locked. And why exactly? As you can see from this photographic print, the defendant was pointing a gun at the victim. It would seem as my learned friend indicated that she was coercing Mr. Windybank to open the storeroom door. In other words, Miss Lestrade's interest lay within the storeroom, not in the main shop, giving her no reason to touch anything on the counter. All of which points to one thing. The Skulkin brothers have omitted key facts in their testimony. But the accused is the pickpurse, common gutter trash. Why look any further for the wrongdoer here? Because the Skulkin brothers are thieves, madam. No better, in fact, worse than a pickpurse. Yeah, exactly. Woo! I believe that these brothers were looking for something on the victim's counter that night. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you would condemn the defendant on the grounds that she is a pickpocket, would it not at least be right and proper to thoroughly scrutinize testimony given against her by two thieves? Well said. Dude, Renosuke is spitting. I, for one, would like to hear more from that shady pair. Bro, use his head. Can you all see now? I think you'll find stereoscopes aren't playthings. You've seen the extraordinary potential firsthand. Let's go. Dun, 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 dun. Wholeheartedly agree. Stop. Must purchase after trial. Stop. Will return home via Regent Street. Stop. Dun, 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 dun. Well, it would seem this trial has yet to run its course. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have declared their inclinations via the mighty scales of justice. I hereby call the summation examination to conclusion with the balance altered in the defendant's favor. 2 lean to guilty, 4 lean to not guilty. Accordingly, the jury is without consensus, and I order this trial to continue. Yay! Well done! Oh, by the way, what? You should hold on to this, Bruno. You never know when it might come in useful. Twice in one trial would be unusual, surely, but alright. It's gonna happen. Lord Van Zeeks, you will instruct the witnesses that the court demand additional testimony from them. I'm sure it won't spoil the bouquet to do so, my lord. Okay, let's go. I've won myself another chance to probe that pair about the activities that night at least. And I won't stop probing them until I've proven that Gina is innocent. Or to be continued. Holy shit. That's it, I guess. Okay, let's continue. I think we'll try to finish the trial today if possible. Order, please, let us resume proceedings. Witnesses, you will now retake the stand. You as well, Gregson. Part of the something brothers, Culkin brothers. I presume you heard the defense counsel summation examination. Oh, yeah, Governor. I did, Gov, I did. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Gore, blimey! This is going to be hard work. Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions after you entered Windy Banks. Well, it was bedlam soon as, weren't it? It was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out me Lucy lockets. However, that was a lie. You brothers. Gore, blimey! On the night in question, you rifled through the items on the victim's counter. We never done nothing of the sort. How'd you figure that out? Oh shit. You will now give formal testimony once again. You will tell the court precisely what happened on the night in question, and this time, you will tell the truth. Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment. And that, gentlemen, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. Well, it is what it is. A thought worth pondering, perhaps. Say no more, Gov. We hear you. We'll blab, we'll squeak, we'll peach. You're not gonna do it. You're gonna... I'll have to find out while you're doing all this testimony stuff. Illegal entry, the whole truth. Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing. It was when we heard the gunshot, see, made us both jump and all that stuff went flying. Lummy, it didn't half give me a fright. We was thinking the shooter come out the door and get us next. We stuck everything back where we found it and scampered straight into him in the back. We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see, we never even had a chance, did we? So you admit to the defense's accusation. You did indeed ransack Mr. Windybank's countertop on the night in question. Not ransack, Governor, no. That's right, Nash, that's right. It's more like we tidied up, yeah. Sorry. By their own admission, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot, having first made good their mess. The way you say it, we hardly sound like roughs at all. We don't, Nash, we don't. Can't make us sound a bit more cutthroat. It can't just be coincidence that these men showed up at the Windy Banks that night. There's more to their testimony than meets the eye. I'm sure of it. Okay, let's press. Jesus, man, these two are dumb as fuck. Okay, but we weren't rifling for nothing. Press. If that's the case, then why didn't you testify to that effect in the first place? Well, you know, we ain't exactly squeaky clean, are we? We ain't, Nash, we ain't. If we admitted to something like that, people would think we was up to no good. You were up to no good. Well said, Ringo, me old China. We only land ourselves in even more trouble. And in fact now, as a result of lying in your previous testimony, that's exactly what you've done. Landed yourselves in even more trouble. Oh, well, that's rotten luck, says the rotten apple eater. Witnesses, explain your actions to court. Why did you ransack the victim's counter? We never ransacked nothing. Right, Nash, right. More like we tidied the place up. Sorry. It was when we heard the gunshots. He made us both jump and all the stuff went flying.
Hold it!
So what you're saying is, the sound of the gunshot shocked you so much you knocked all those things off the counter? Well, it shocked one of us that much. Yeah, this bag of nerves need to learn to keep his shirt on. Look, it was loud, alright. Blimey, me dead granny would have woken up at that bang. Big bruv here screamed like a blooming baby and fell over on the counter. He knocked over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull whatnot. That got tangled in some marionette, but what knocked over a picture frame, what knocked them scales on the floor. He really mastered working quietly then. What a racket, me granny would have been scared back her grave at a clatter like that. So in short, the gunshot took you by surprise. And then some, I mean, it was quiet as a mouse, and then all of a sudden, BAM! What's wrong, Gregson? Pursue. Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add? Like I keep saying, I don't appreciate being lumped in with these scoundrels. No, something to add about their testimony? You seemed to react just now at what Mr. Skulkin said. Did it make you think of something? It's probably nothing, of course. I wouldn't even bother to mention it, only... Well, the fact is, cases don't get solved if you ignore the little details. How about you just tell us what's on your mind? As you know, we brought these fellas into the yard for questioning last night, and the statement they gave then told a slightly different story to what they're saying now. Oh no. Did it? You claim you heard the victim shout something out before the gunshot. Might have, Gov, might have. Does ring a bell now you mention it. Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still, I can't help feeling like perhaps you have been a bit floppy with your testimony here, oh fellas. If I discover the witness's testimony has been any more sloppy than it has hitherto proven to be, I shall be forced to bring the very harshest punishment to bear against them. Easy, easy. We'll get right this time. That's it, yup, it's all coming back to me now. Then speak! Supplement your testimony with whatever details have miraculously returned to your questionable minds, sirs. Right you are, Gov. Oh, I like Lord Van Beeks when he's not in our side, but he's cooking the witnesses as well. Just before the gunshot, we heard a voice yelling out, "Give me the gun!"
Hold it!
So in fact, you heard the voice and the gunshot almost simultaneously? We did, Gov, we did. Although I suppose if you're being honest, we heard a kind of a wavering voice before the yell and all. If you don't want to get shot, give me that gun! BAM! Oh, that's very good enactment. Kind of thing. A career in acting tragically missed. And where were the voices coming from? Could you tell? Of course we could. From the other side of the door, behind the counter it was. From the storeroom where the victim was found dead. And the voice he heard, it was that of the victim, Mr. Windybank. On me, Granny's life, of course it was. Aye, this is gonna be a long one. On his Granny's life, of course it was. So, that would mean that you both knew Mr. Windybank and the sound of his voice. Eh? So that would mean what? What, Nash, what? Any ideas? Yes, Counsel, indeed it would. Nah, we didn't know the geezer. Then how do you know it was Windybank? How am I supposed to deny it when that bloke and all the fancy clobbers giving us the evil eye? If you value your lives, you will ensure your testimony is accurate and true. On me, Granny's life it is. On his Granny's life it must be. It's a good job his Granny's dead. To summarize then, immediately after hearing the voice of the victim, you then hear the gunshot, causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counter and scattering them over the shop floor. You make it sound like we're clumsy. Don't forget we tidied up after like good little boys, anyway the way I see it. The bloke what owned the place was holding a gun, so he should have just fired instead of yelling at the girl.
Hold it!
You're saying that Mr. Windybank has a gun in his hands? Oh yeah, I bet that was a sight, eh? Them two waving them guns at each other must have got pretty heated. I mean, just before he shouted out, we heard the geezer say, "If you don't want to get shot." Didn't really sound like he meant it, mind. More of an empty threat, you could say. Mr. Windybank was known to keep a revolver on his shop counter at all times. People say that to protect the articles in his keeping, he readily put a bullet in someone's head if required. That someone being himself, of course. Good grief, extraordinary devotion indeed, if alarmingly misguided. Well, certainly sounded like he was ready to pull the trigger the other night. Only the person he was gonna shoot beat him to it. Cooked his goose proper. But there's only one gun, I think, in the storeroom. Bet he wished he squeezed the trigger instead of wasting time shouting, "Give me that gun!" And it was directly after those words that he heard the gunshot. It was more or less at the same time, Gov. "Give me that gun!" Bam! Kind of thing. Yes, a career in acting very tragically missed. Then we heard the sound of someone hitting the deck. Before everything went dead quiet. After that, we done a slapdash job tidying the place up. Wait, let me see something. That is one area we can present is the thing gun. But maybe this is the one. Lummy, it didn't half give me a fright. We was thinking the shooter come out the door and get us next.
Hold it!
So you didn't try to open the storeroom door then? Not on your life. It went deadly quiet after that, it did. Put the wind right up me. But anyway, the door was locked, weren't it? No way that was opening. Yes, of course. It was locked from the inside, or so we've been led to believe. It was, Gov, it was. From the inside. Right, so we had no way of knowing what was going on in there, did we? Unless there was some other way to get a view of the inside of the storeroom. Like through the keyhole or a spy hole, perhaps? Don't ring no bells, don't light no lights. There is that peeping hole thingy that we also looked at. We had to cut and run before we noticed anything like that. We're still cutting our teeth in this game, you see, but one day... we'll really cut the mustard. Please, cut it out. But as we know, behind that door was the victim's lifeless body, with the accused not 2 feet away. Yes, unfortunately. Sheena was in there unconscious with the gun in her hand. To confirm, would it be correct to say that neither of you set a foot inside the storeroom? That's right, Gov, that's right. From the can't you with the hole poke your hand in and shoot him? You can do that, you can do that. You can do that because we saw that hole, that rectangle hole thingy. If you just put your hand like that and you shoot it, and because it's from, it's kind of is. I don't think it's on the like eye level. It's probably like down below. So like the trajectory of the thing will be like up from down to up. So that's why he got shot in the back from that trajectory. Could be like that as well. That's right, Gov. That's right. But couldn't have even if you wanted to. Also, I would like Gina to tell me like, did you guys lock the door or something? That would be. I would like to know about this. Why don't we talk to Gina? We stuck everything back where we found it and scrappled straight into him in the black. That's me. Yes, whereupon you fired a shot from your own gun at Mr. Herlock Sholmes. We was a bit hasty there. We was Nash, we was. Truth be told, I was already shaking like a leaf when your lot turned up. If you're shaking like a leaf, don't put a loaded gun in your hand. Good advice, miss, good advice. Truth be told, me mind went totally blank. Before your mind goes totally blank, make sure you don't have a loaded gun in your hand. Mental note made, miss. After that, we legged it down the street, but apparently we looked dodgy to the coppers or somewhat, so they clapped the derbies on us like winking. And after you've been handcuffed, the police found this revolver in your possession, correct? Well, yeah. But listen, that proves done it, huh? Eh? Oh, sorry, not eh. We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never even had a chance, did we?
Hold it!
I feel like you can do it if you really wanted to. And why should we believe that? Eh, what? Well, because it's true, innit? The place was totally empty when we went in. At that time, the victim was already in the storeroom, having been forced to open the door by the accused who had a gun to his head. In other words, on the night in question, these two witnesses never even laid eyes on the proprietor of the pawnbrokery, Mr. Windybank. Correct? You've got it, mister. Down to a T. So the Skulkin brothers never actually encountered Mr. Windybank? Is that really true, I wonder? That's it? That's the full extent of the testimony? What is it, Bruno? You look very fierce. I could pour you some herbal tea if you're tired. Oh, thank you, but I'm fine. Being such a logical thinker, you'll probably laugh. But I feel as though these brothers are still hiding something. Something important. Well, feelings can be very logical at times. Sorry? People's expressions, the movement of their eyes, the words they choose. You can take all that in your brain and will quietly analyze it to come up with a feeling like you described. You concluded that there's something suspicious about this testimony without knowing why. That's all. I think you should trust your instincts. Iris, thank you. Sometimes I think if she's 10 years old, I must be 5. Okay, there's two places where I feel like I can do. One is the last statement. The bloke what owned this place is holding a gun, so he should have just fired instead of yelling at the girl. The bloke who owned the place was holding a gun, so he should have just fired instead. But Gina is holding the gun. He couldn't have shot the pawnbroker. See, we never even had a chance, did we? Like, you didn't know him. Let's actually see. But the thing is, Gina was holding the gun, no? I'm gonna present the photo, that's the only thing I can. Or I could present the gun as well. This one, maybe? Yeah, maybe the gun.
Objection!
Okay, it's not that. Let's just consider the implications of that statement for a moment, shall we? What implications, counsel? Nothing strikes me about it. Exactly. There's nothing striking about it. What does strike me is your propensity for the inane, however. Oh, I should save. I need to clear my head and come at this again from a different angle. Wait, you never had a chance. You could have a chance. Well, he certainly sounded like he was ready to pull the trigger the other night. Only the person was gonna shoot and beat him to it. Cooked his goose prop. Wait. Wait. Okay, wait, I think I got it. If Gina and Windybank were having an altercation, then he wouldn't have been shot in the back. He would have been shot like on the front. So somebody shot him from the back. I think that is the one. Oh man, why am I such a dumbass? It was so easily. I think I'll show this. Or should I show this? I think I'll show this because it says it writtenly, so maybe that. Skip this. Oh yeah, see, he shoots him in the front. Oh my god, I am such a dumbass. Okay, I'll send the picture instead.
Objection!
Okay, it is it. So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windybank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct? That's it, Gov. We've got the picture. Okay, now I know the level of how like it's going to be, how like tough it's going to be. So I've got to be locked in every statement. I was kind of like head in the clouds a bit, so I wasn't thinking too deeply. Okay, but now I got it. Okay, I have to think. I have to look at every statement now. That's it, Gov. We've got the picture. He is Nash. He is, no question. He has. Oh, sorry, he is. And yet, photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windybank was not holding a firearm of any description. Eh? You what? Gordon Bennett, that ain't right.
Objection!
Yeah, that's what I've been also saying. There can be no question that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Windybank's gun was found at the scene. Not only was it identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand. Yeah, that mortal used the victim's own gun to finish him off. Give me that gun. Bam. But it wouldn't have hit the chest then. It should have hit the chest then. Kind of thing. Stay exactly where you are, right there. Eh? If the crime scene had taken place as you so colorfully described in your testimony, it would give rise to an undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out. Goodness, are you sure, counsel? You intrigue me, my learned friend, but let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where is the proof that demonstrates this inconsistency is the witness's portrayal of the victim's final moments. Shot in the back, so maybe now I can give this. Yeah, I'll do this. According to their testimony, the witnesses claim to have heard a shout of "Give me that gun," followed by the gunshot. Indeed, with the two events happening almost simultaneously, or so we've been led to believe. Yes, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true, it would mean that at the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, in the autopsy report, it clearly states that the victim died instantly after being shot from behind. Ah! So, as I stated before, there is an undeniable inconsistency in your testimony, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Oh, I'm actually so mad that I didn't get that. This has been a while since I've not been able to get an inconsistency on the first try. But it's the God's honest proof. It is Nash, it is, when he was shot that night. The shopkeeper had a gun in his hand, and we saw it with our own bleeding eyes. Did I hear you right just now? You actually saw Mr. Windybank holding a gun? Somewhat like that might have slipped out. Ladies and gentlemen, you have all just heard the admission by these two witnesses that on the night in question they actually saw, with their own eyes, the victim wielding a gun. Which can only mean that despite the testimony to the contrary, the Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person. Nash, I don't want to scream. Order! Witnesses, explain yourself at once. Well, the thing is, it weren't supposed to, Oh no. It would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. I made it quite clear that false witness would be the death of you. Oh shit. Am I to understand that you replaced the untruths of your original testimony with renewed lies? Ever so sorry, Governor. Truth is, Cut it out, Nash, cut it out. If you blab now, you know what he'll do to us. He? Who are they talking about? Eggert Benedict. Let me make your position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There is no other option available to you. Bruv, come on, the game's up. But he'll have our guts for garters. In case it hasn't quite sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out. On the night in question, it is now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place. Well, do we have to? On pain of death. I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth. Encounter with the victim. Alright, so we just got inside the gaff and heaved a sigh of relief when the geezer showed his mug. Give me that gun, he bellowed, and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we had it. For an old geezer, that bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter. I pulled my gun on him, and then he legged it through the door into the back room. We never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear. So you're now telling us that moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop. Well, yeah. Sorry. Well, we find ourselves at an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably. But honest, Governor, this time, Nash, we ain't got nothing more to hide. I feel like you're still lying. Very well, counsel for defense. You may proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. This is it. The moment I've been waiting for. Are we going to bring Edward Benedict? Encounter with the victim. Okay, let's press this. Give a sigh of relief and the geezer showed his mouth. When you say geezer, I presume you mean the victim and proprietor of the shop, Mr. Windybank? Who else? Sorry, I mean, that's right. We was keeping a close eye on the entrance to the gaff, obviously, but we never thought no one was gonna come out to the back room like that. The back room being the pawnbrokery storeroom. Yeah, that must be where he popped from. Only place he could have been. So it would seem the victim was already in the storeroom when these brothers entered the premises. Which means Ginny must have been in there at that point as well. But that doesn't make sense, does it? If Gina had threatened Mr. Windybank into the storeroom with her at gunpoint, then why would he have emerged from the same room all alone when the brothers arrived? Oh, I don't know. Did you see the accused at the time? What, that mole to look? Couldn't tell ya. No way, Cobber. We had bigger fish to fry them. I mean, the old geezer just lost it. Give me that gun, he bellowed, and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we had it. You mentioned that Mr. Windybank shouted those words in your previous testimony too. However, you claim that you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom door. Did we? But the truth is, he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he? Well, yeah. Was the victim, Mr. Windybank, wielding a gun at the time? Was he ever? Blimey lummy, a great ugly barrel he had, pointed straight at me front piece. So what you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Windybank with a gun at the time, is that right? It is, Gov, it is. Spot on. Then all of a sudden, he came at us, he did. It was bedlam. I didn't know who was going for who. We were clearly all going for each other. Like Nash said, we thought we had it. I mean, for an old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter.
Hold it!
He chucked you over the counter. Yes, I noticed that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony too. Well, yeah, of course we did. He knocked over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull whatnot. That got tangled in some marionette, what knocked over a picture frame, what knocked them scales on the floor. So in fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshot that shocked you and made you knock these things off the counter. Well, big bruv here went flying over the counter like a gunshot, I can tell you. Then the old geezer pinned him. He did, Nash, he did. If you hadn't been there, the bloke would have flattened me like a blooming pancake in seconds. At that time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via a secret cable from the pawnbrokery. There is a button under the counter used to activate it, which is presumably pressed by the victim. That's right, when the brothers fled the scene and back onto the street, they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they? Poor Mr. Windybank, he did everything he could to protect his shop. I pulled my gun on him and then he legged it through the door, into the back room. My gun on him and then I legged through the back room, okay. Were you intending to shoot Mr. Windybank? No, never. I was just, you can't trust that. Looking out for me, bruv, weren't I? He was being flattened, don't forget. By a man whose shop was being burgled, yes. And then the man fled into the storeroom and you pointed your gun at him, is that it? Yeah, that's it. He shoved me away, then ran off through that door and shut himself in. There's something about that last remark, something that doesn't quite ring true. Wait, can I read it? Can I read that again? The man's shop was being burgled, and then the man fled into the storeroom when you pointed your gun at him. Yeah, that's it. He shoved me away, then ran off through that door and shut himself in. Ran off through that door and shut himself in. Ran off through that door and shut himself in. Ran off through that door and shut himself in. And I wonder why Mr. Windybank ran away into the storeroom. What? Well, according to what everyone's saying, Ginny wasn't there waiting for him with a gun. Ah, yes, that's right. Gina allegedly used Mr. Windybank's gun to threaten him and force him to open the storeroom door. In which case, how did the gun end up in Mr. Windybank's hands again? I have no idea, but this is strange, isn't it? This inconsistency could be significant. I should make a mental note of it. Look, the point is me and me bruv here. That's right, Nash, that's right. Me and me bruv here. Mina had nothing to do with killing him and all. What happened, I swear. Okay. You say you had nothing to do with it? Nothing at all. Nothing, Gov, nothing. The poor geezer went and shut himself in the back room, didn't he? Locked it was, from the inside. We know it was, because we tried to open it. It was a decent door, that one, good and strong, wouldn't budge an inch. So in the end, the situation remains unchanged. Inside the storeroom with the pawnbroker, there was only one other person. The sole person who could possibly have shot the victim, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade. It would indeed appear so. What say you to that, counsel? I don't know. Was there anyone else apart from Gina who could possibly have shot Mr. Windybank? There could have been. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. What? What's that look for? From the moment you admitted that you encountered the victim face to face that night, the course of this trial changed completely. It did? What is your point, my learned friend? The question we must answer is who could have shot Mr. Windybank? And it is the belief of the defense that the defendant is not the only possible answer at all. You have my attention. In that case, let us return to this plan of the premises. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked from the inside. Those are the facts. So pray, what other possible answer to the question of who shot the man could there be? There is a small door which you opened, that's how Rinosuke found them both as well. Counsel, you must now provide answers to the court in respect of two conundrums. Two, my lord, twice as many chances to be right, maybe. Indeed, namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim, and furthermore, where was the victim at that time? Where was the victim at that time? Understood, my lord. Are you alright, Bruno? I'm not entirely sure, but there is one thing I'm sure about. If I can prove that there's a credible new alternative to what happened, it would change Gina's perspectives hugely. So now, time for some clarity. Show the court on this plan the answers to the question posed by his lordship. If you believe someone else could have killed the victim, indicate from where that person could have fired the gun. Hold it, that's the end of the video. See you next time.